Hi everyone, this is Dango from Rocky Valley server. In this video, we are going to talk about who should you look at and who should you bet on in this Apex Arena playoff season. So starting from this round, which will be the first round of Apex Arena finals, so you players will be able to bet on who will be the winner, and we will have basically 5 free tickets, and then you can use your gold to buy another 5 tickets. So the price in Chinese server was like 15k, like 15k golds per ticket, and every player can buy like up to 5 tickets per round. So you will have like 10 tickets together, so you can bet on. So basically, like after this week's update, there will be a button around here, and you can just click on, if you want to bet on, if you want to bet such player to be the winner. So let's talk about who should you bet on and what battles should you focus on watching. So let's start with let's briefly introduce like all these players a little bit. So myself, I play like versatile scale. I play a lot of styles. If you check my like group battle, basically, so the first battle, basically my enemy retreats. So he's actually from my guild, but he's like a player from like Vietnam, so the timing was very bad for him, so he didn't join. But from all these 3 battles, I was actually using, 3 totally different styles. So yeah, my box is very standard, but I think I would like to say my style is kind of, I mean I can play all different types of skills, and I mean really basically depends on what my enemy is playing. So this Acton is like a player I'm still investigating. His box is very standard as well. He has a very strong legend characters, and he has very strong dark characters. So yeah, the way he play is that he play very safe game. He basically do like standard tank push, like you pick Landius, you pick some healers, you pick some like attackers like Listel or Lana, and then you just slow push. So this is a very like standard player, and then like Zephyr is a very interesting player. He used strategy team, so he used Emmerich, very strong Emmerich, and he also used like Automuller, and this is one of the strongest Oliver in this server. So his box is a lot different from all the rest people. Yeah, this is the most unique box that this player has. But sadly, I don't think he has any chance to beat Zelda M. Strategy faction is kind of strong when you have the red enemy. Right? If you put like Emmerich, you put like Altmuller, you put this Olivier in, you do have a strong lineup. But like for example, this kind of team, like for example, like if you rely on like Emmerich as your tank, then this kind of team is very weak to AoE mages, which like I'm sure Zelda M should have some AoE mages here. For example, this Basil, this Rennie are very like good counter um to Zelf's basically a very strong counter to Zelf, and especially to Zelf if he's using Emmerich. Yeah, so I think he's a very unique player, and if you check all the like battles he played, he played the battle very well, but it's going to be very challenging to try to beat Zelda M. So I would still Zelda M has a better chance to win, and this battle, I think the hot point for the round 1 is going to be between Lemons and Sylvan, so maybe most of the vote will go to these players. So if you bet Zelda to win, you may actually have better chance of getting more gold. So this is just like basic statistics. So for example in this battle royally, this is another like battle where a lot of players may put their bet on. So for example, if 99 players like put their bet on royally, and only 1 player put their bet on like Sigma Duck, and although you can win the bet, I mean, like for example, really win the battle, but you can actually only get slightly money back from it. So this is just because there are too many players like are betting royally is the winner, and the ratio is too huge. Like basically betting royally win, you can make the right prediction, but you won't get much. But yeah, if in this case, if not not many people are betting these two players, and if you bet Zelda and he wins, maybe you will get better rewards. And yeah, this is another player that use not so standard team, but you can see, yeah, his box is still like close to standard. He's using like still using land use, ritual, like this tail, like juggler. Yeah, the only thing difference is that this player also use like Lamata and yeah, Lamada and also the Sigma. So yeah, so this is like one of the few Sigma users. So his team is very focused on Legend faction, and also he used Gizlov. So Gizlov and Lamata is also a pretty decent combo. So yeah, so this player focused on a lot of Legend and this Mystic faction. So yeah, which is slightly different from the other people's box, but I would say still in the range of a meta box. So yeah, he's a very strong player. So the other player is a Breeze. His name is Breeze, a very strong player that relies on double tank strategy, and he's very like famous for like playing style games. His style game is very strong. I mean his tank is very strong, right? If you just check his tanks, those are like decent tanks, and very strong list tail as well. So and if you check the defense enchant here, that's insane. That's 5-star list tail with like almost a 200 defense green, so no one is going to ever kill this Listel. So yeah, very strong player. So it is actually very hard for me to predict who will be the winner. Yeah, I think maybe Breeze has a better chance, just because his box looks. I mean, he's using a standard box. It is not that I don't like Sigma or like Lamata, but in season one, Sigma's role is very limited, especially I mean, you have Sigma in your box so that your enemy will pick a tank. But this just falls into Breeze's like he likes to pick the tank anyway. So you ban Breeze, for example, you ban his land use, he's going to 100% sure like pick Juggler. So if he pick a tank, then your Sigma is very hard to it's very hard to deal with this kind of situation. So my suggestions for tier is actually to remove Sigma from the box and then see if you can add something into the box. But if he's not doing any adjustment, I think just by having Sigma in the box could be a huge disadvantage against Breeze. It can work if you are fighting against like other players like Lemons or like Sigma Dark, but it is not very useful to have Sigma when you are fighting with a stall player known as Breeze. So that's the thing. And for this battle, Roy Lee and Sigma Duck. So here, I think it is pretty hard for you to make a bet. So I mean, if you support these two players, just feel free to support them. But other than that, it's very hard for me to predict. Because I think I mean he's a big whale, so he should be able to find other solution other than putting Sigma in his box. So I would say he has a chance to win as well. But if he keeps his original box, then Breeze will have higher chance to win. And then for Roy Lee and Sigma Duck, so Sigma Duck is one of my favorite player. He's a very strong player, and I have been facing this player in regular season like many times, and from time to time I can see his improvement. Like his skill, his box are both improving like from time to time. This is why I really like this player, cause I feel excited when I see people are improving. So I think this is a very like one of my favorite player, and I do think he has a slight chance to win royally, but still royally is going to be. I mean, Roy Lee has more chance to win over Sigma Duck, so it's kind of hard to tell. I think lots of players will bet Roy Lee, so if you really want to earn more gold, this may not actually be a good choice for you. But still, if you just want to show your support to Roy Lee or Sigma Duck, you can still cast your ballots in. And so Sophia and Spare Me Please. So my personal favorite is Sophia. So I checked both players' play. So the other reason that my personal favorite is Sophia is because she is from Alpha Guild, which is my guild, and yeah, she just plays the game very well. I did a written interview with Sophia, which I will post later. Yeah, she's actually a very interesting player and very strong player. So you may not be very familiar with her, but yeah, she's definitely one of the top players, and she's using all of these like 5-star characters. If you check like this Liz Tails 5-star, you check this Lana is 5-star. Yeah, like basically a ton of 5-star characters. This Basil is 5-star as well. Yeah, and yeah, and he can still win lots of the battle. Her box is pretty standard, but yeah, so she's kind of my favorite. And the Spear Me plays, he is also a very strong player. And yeah, it's just his box is also pretty standard. It's just like from the play. Actually, I would say like these two players have very close playing style. So I think they both have pretty good chance to win. It's just because Sophia is in my guild, so I would support Sophia more. But from a more objective standpoint, I think they have like pretty much equal chance to win the battle. So yeah, so if you do enjoy these two players, you can check their previous match, and if you do want to support them, you can still cast your vote on them. And for Manson and this Cliff Average, so to be honest, I think in this battle, Manson's box has a clear advantage over Cliff Average. I think if Manson is not making mistake from pick and ban and from play, he should be pretty safe to win this battle. And this is the other reason. It's not like this Cliff Average is not a good player. I mean, all the players enter the final stage are like top players, and they are super good. Some of the good players, they don't have the chance to enter this stage, but all of the players who enter this phase, they are also like top. They are all top players. So I'm not saying he's not good, but it's just Manson is a super big whale, and Manson's play a lot. He has some knowledge from Chinese server as well, so it is very likely that he will win this battle. So I don't know like how many people will cast their vote on Manson. So this can be a very safe choice for you. Yeah, I mean maybe like Manson is not as popular as Lemons or like Suiwan or as like Roy Lee. So if you cast your vote on Manson, maybe you will get you will get more gold. So this is my recommendation here. And the Lemons and Suiwan, so I actually don't recommend you to put any gold on here. But if you want to support these two players, then you can still cast your vote here. For example, I'm going to cast my vote on Suiwan. Just because Suwan is my well skilled leader, so I mean I know, I mean personally, Suwan, Lemons, and I, we are like all like very good friends. So we usually chat a lot in our Discord server. So yeah, so it's not like I don't like Lemons or something. It's just like Sylvan is my personal favorite, and he's one of the most he's one of the heavy spender in this game. I don't really think there are other people are spending more than Sylvan. Probably Royally is comparable. But really, yeah, I think Suwan has a good chance. I mean, Lemons is also a big whale, but yeah, so I do think they both have good chance. So and they should both have more than 15 like characters that they can prepare. So really, like who is the winner depends on kind of a mind game. So if Suwan can guess what Lemons will be using, and Lemons can predict Suwan is using, this kind of like mind game will decide who will be the winner. So in the end, the box selection and pick and ban will play a more important role in who will be the winner. So in that case, yeah, this is the game between Lemons and Suwan. So if you are like a big fan of them, definitely cast your vote out there. But if you just want to get more gold, I don't recommend that battle at all. But this should be a very interesting battle to watch. Two of the biggest whale fight against each other, and yeah, it's basically two of the best players in this game as well. So yeah, really should be a very interesting game. And then Zenshin and Silver Shield. So yeah, so in this battle, Yeah, I mean they are both like very good players, and Silver Shields box is not very good. So I mean it's not bad. It's pretty standard. And Zensin's box is also pretty standard, focusing on more single target characters like Elven, like Matthew. Zensin still has the best Matthew in this game. So I mean Zensin is another voice leader of my guild. So it is very clear for me that I'm going to cast some vote on Sylvan, I'm going to cast some vote on Zensin, and I'm going to cast some vote for Sophia because I mean I'm the guild leader, so I'm going to support my guild members, especially my like voice guild leader. So I'm going to cast my vote on Zensin, and I actually think this is going to be a very good and safe pick for you to earn gold. It is not like I think Silver Shield is not a it's not good player. It's just from the way they play the like previous battles. If you have a look, just to check how many mistakes the player was making, just to check how the pick and ban was going, and check their overall box strength. I think in all these aspects, Zenshin just performs a little better here. I mean, again, they are all like both very strong players, but I really think Zenshin's chance to win the game is kind of like, I mean, it's pretty obvious to me. So yeah, I think casting your vote on Zenshin is pretty safe. But again, like if you are a big fan of Silver Shield, you should still support him. He still has a like decent chance to win to win over Zenshin. It really comes to down to what is like how good is your BP in a day of playing, and if you make any like mistakes at all, or if you can make sure you never make a mistake. So those will be the determining factors on like who will be the winner. So do remember that this is a best of three. So even like one player is making some of the mistake and lost one battle, he still has a chance to come back later. So yeah, so this is the thing here. So Zenshin is actually so overall, I think your safest option to earn more gold is to actually cast your support on Zenshin or Manson, and also yeah, actually yeah, just Zenshin and Manson, yeah, and maybe Zelda M as well because I definitely think this is also a pretty like clear battle to me. I mean Zephyr here is a very strong player as well, and he used like a strategy team like Emmerich, these things. I do acknowledge his like strengths, and it's just like if you check his battles before, it looks like his enemy doesn't know like what Emmerich does. So I do think Zelda M has a better understanding on these kind of characters because he plays a lot Apex Arena himself. So yeah, I do think Zelda M should have the win pretty easily. So this is my like three safest choice. Basically, Zelda M, Mansin, and Zensin. And then the interesting battle will be Lemons versus Sylvan and Royally versus Sigma Duck. So I kind of know Breeze is going to play a style game, or at least he will try style game. So I don't really like the style here, but I think Breeze may have better chance to win, especially if Tear is not making any change of his current box. So yeah, so this is the thing, and Sophia and Spare Me Please should give a very interesting battle as well. And yeah, and these players are both like using not top level units, so it's going to be interesting to see. And yeah, for my battle against Acton, so it is very clear to me this Acton is a Chinese player. So Acton means Dantong in Chinese, which is very common Chinese saying, and yeah, it's just very funny. And yeah, from his play, I can see he has actually a pretty deep understanding in Apex Arena. So my advantage over him is that my units looks a little bit stronger than his units, but not too much. I would say stronger by a little bit, not too much. So this will be my advantage, and I probably have like stronger units also because I have better like training because he's from like Dark Cave. So Dark Cave is one of the like later server, and Rocky Valley, yeah, like I joined the game basically the first week, so I do have some advantage against Acton. So personally, I think I have better chance to win. But if I'm not, I made a ton of mistake myself, especially during the first battle. I think I never make a mistake in my second and third battle, but I made a huge mistake in my first battle, and that one almost cost me the game. So yeah, so if I make mistakes, if I lost the pick and ban, then I can still lose to Acton. So he still has a very decent chance to win the battle. He has a very strong understanding and a very decent box. So that's the case. So if you just if you want to support me, I will be very happy. So you can still cast your vote on me. But if you just want to earn gold, again, I don't think I'm the best choice. And yeah, I still think like Zelda M or like Zensin or like Manson will be your best choice. So thanks guys for watching. This is my brief overview on overview on what will happen on this Saturday and probably Sunday. Yeah, after Saturday I will make another video. So yeah, see you guys later. Peace.